Rob Van Dam, listening to True Hill Heat. Pow.
Hello everyone, it's the hardcore legend Mick Foley wishing a nice day to everyone there, right there at True Heel Heat. Yeah!
Hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. We are live on the True Hill Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for our TNA. Yes, TNA is back. TNA Hard to Kill 2024 preview. And I am joined by my esteemed colleague. You've seen him for 2.5 hours over on Fightful Overbooked. You see him on the Fightful main channel. This man is one of the faces of wrestling YouTube on your mornings every weekday. He is in the weeds. He is Joel Pearl.
Hello. I'm back, baby.
You're back. I
I
had Jeremy on here. I had to get you on here, you know?
of course I saw you had Jeremy on Sunday. That was good. I got a chance to scrub through it and watch through it, and it's good. So we're not going to go as long as y'all did, but we'll have a good time talking about Hard to Kill.
We had too much fun on that one because of Sat. I blame Sat for
Totally.
all the shenanigans that went down on Saturday. But thank you all for joining us live here as we are going to preview, yes, the first of many events under the TNA banner for the former Impact Wrestling, now total nonstop action once again. And it all starts this Saturday, Las Vegas, Nevada. Joel Pearl will be there. Many of you probably watching will be there for TNA Hard to Kill 2024. Joel Pearl, what is kind of your excitement level, your buzz level for this Saturday show? You're going to be there live and you cover TNA Impact Wrestling for so long over on the Fightful main channel. How does it feel?
Feels good. I mean, they took effectively 2 months off. Once they made the announcement of Bound for Glory, they kind of went into, this is what we've taped, this is what we have left. And so it's nice to see that there's going to be some new first run content. I'm happy to be there live. I'm excited. Yeah, my excitement's going up, and there's a lot of really cool matches coming out. I said offline with you, this is the most like super indie card TNA's ever done. These matches make no sense. They have no consequences for the most part. They're just there. The Snake Eyes tapings the next night are the same thing. Nothing's really going to matter in TNA until like the middle of January when they do those tapings in Orlando.
This very much feels like a takeover card, but without the buildup on TV.
Yeah.
Like you're just in, because a lot of those takeover cards, people don't tend to forget and act like, oh man, the week to week, it was so great. No. It was just them announcing great matches, and then they just did like promos and stuff like that. That was it. But this is like very much like it when I was like going through the matches and getting the graphics for everything. I was like, God damn, this is gonna be banger. I don't know the buildup for any of this, but bangers.
Build up. What are you talking about? Build up. Build up. It's just shows, matches, and people won call your shots and feasts and fires. And now just stuff happens.
This is how it goes. TNA. What is your, before we get into the gist of the show, what is your greatest TNA memory?
Oh, don't do this to me. Whenever people ask me about this stuff, I always blank at the last second. Skipper off the cage is always one.
You just have to say the first thing that comes to your mind, and that's
I know, but then I always feel like there's always something else that comes up, and I'm like, oh god. Like I saw this a lot.
Mine is Angle's debut and busting open Joe.
Yeah,
That image of Joe busted open and Angle acting all hype and Joe raising up behind him. Great stuff. Good
Sting
stuff.
taking off a mask to show he's wearing a Sting mask.
Jay Lethal and Ric Flair going back and
Yes.
forth, the woo off. Yes. Let us know your favorite TNA memory. Give us your predictions for this Saturday's card, TNA Hard to Kill. We appreciate y'all for joining us live. Appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show that appreciation back in the simplest way possible. Drop the thumbs up on this video. Share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. It helps the algorithms. And of course, you can hit that subscribe button if you are new to the channel and sound off in the live chat. We'll try to highlight as many of your comments as possible, but most importantly, we will highlight your super chat donations. That is so important to what we do here. We are a self-funded channel, or as Jimmy Macaram says, we are broke. Please help out. Thank you. All right. We got already in the chat here Ace who says, what's up, SP3 and Joel. We also got Chase who says, TNA, TNA, TNA. We got Safet who says, yes, welcome back, TNA Wrestling. We also got Chase who says, I was planning on going to this show as well, but work got in the way.
Skip work.
SMH.
Skip work. Don't bother going to work. Don't. What are you doing with your life that you're not coming to what is the TNA Indie Supercard? And then Snake Eyes the next night, where they're going to be putting more Indie card. Like Will Ospreay and Kazuchika Okada, we're just like, oh yeah, no, we'll do Battle in the Valley, and then we'll just make a 3-hour drive and work TV for TNA. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Skip work.
We got it. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We'll be there. so we'll probably Matt Riddle.
No, I wouldn't put that out there.
No, this is me. Reckless speculation. They're all taking a bus together. That's
let me tell you a quick story. Rebellion 2019, maybe it was. I forget when it was. When Michael Elgin made his way back into TNA, into Impact at the time, they were in Toronto. He comes out. I'm sitting in the general area, and it's like a VIP section at Rebel Nightclub in Toronto. And when he comes out, people are popping, and I'm the only one who's like, I get up, and there's like a big open space in front of me. I'm like, boo, this sucks. I hate this place. This is awful. People are looking at me like I'm crazy, and I'm like, in 2 years, you'll know why. And then it was really like 6 months, but yeah, that was a moment in time. So no, Matt Riddle will probably not be seen at TNA anytime soon. I could eat my words anytime. Who knows?
I will be tagging him on Twitter if it does happen.
He ain't gonna see my ass. He blocked me a long time ago, and vice versa. So here you go, mutual blocking.
Mutual. It's a mutual. Yeah, I always do that. That is the respectful thing to do. If someone blocks you, you block them back.
Block them right back. And if they unblock you, and you unblock them, or they unblock you, I ain't unblocking you.
Yeah. I probably won't know unless you try to comment on something, or I say you take a sub at me or something like that. Yeah, that's the only thing. We got Ace in the chat who says AJ Styles versus Christopher Daniels versus Samoa Joe. We got Rain Lambert who says greatest TNA moment, Tito Ortiz debut.
Oh yes, August 1 warning. Let's go.
Everyone remembers that one.
Yes.
We also got Brooklyn Bleak who says AJ Styles Evil Ways music and going solo like Sting appearing in the Raptors in the Crow face paint. It wasn't that good, but yeah, he tried.
That's all that matters. He tried.
He tried. But let's talk about it because I see people in the chat. We already got people kind of speculating in the chat who they think it is. It won't be Matt Riddle because he is going to be at Battle in the Valley. We got Kicking It with Leo who says, I think Ashley Sambera, aka Dana Brooke, shows up and is a surprise entrant in the Ultimate X match. So let's get to that one. Who do you think, Joe, is this mystery signing? TNA has been hyping it up. Scott D'Amore has been hyping it up. Worlds will collide on January 13th. You won't believe who is showing up. Scott D'Amore has said this is one of the biggest signings in TNA history. Who do you believe is going to be the signing?
Top dollar. No, I don't really think it's top dog. I think
I know he might. I know he's gonna be there because he
Yeah.
has a music video debuting.
Yeah,
But
he does. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Nick Nemeth. He's probably the only guy that I can think of who's not currently on his way somewhere else or doing a whole indie run. This guy follows me everywhere. Does anyone know this guy? I've never seen this guy before in my life. It's good to see you. So
Andrew pops in once in a while over here. He knows we get raunchy over here, so he likes it. He's a New Yorker. He said. I mean, this is speculation, not a scoop, guys. CM Punk. So who do you think? Who do you think is like the top? We'll give you 3. Put 3 suspects out there that you think could be this signing.
Nemeth, Madcap. Sorry, Madcap, Mike Rallis, for those who are paying attention. And I don't know, man. Dude, I have no idea. The Shelty B is another one. Someone in the chat mentioned Shelty B is one. I don't know, but then again, like this is the problem with saying we got a big signing or we got a big thing. Like it's never going to be big enough for anybody, and that's fine. The matches themselves, I see some people saying that they could be in the. Someone said the Ashley Severa is going to be in the Ultimate X match. No, I'll tell you why that's not going to happen later when we get to that match. But there are a lot of people that they could bring in, but honestly, they have a pretty stacked roster and they're stacking it more. I don't know if you need to keep bringing in, former WWE guys or girls. You just need to keep working on the programs you got. Then again, they're going to be losing some people soon, so who knows?
This is true. We're going to talk about some of the people that they are planned to be losing. One of them is already Deonna Purrazzo, who's already in AEW, debuting last Wednesday. I'm going to put the suspect as Mustafa Ali, the Wanted Man, Nick Nemeth. That's my way of calling him Nick Nemeth. If I say the full thing, the Wanted Man, Nick Nemeth.
It's good to be wanted, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good to be wanted. Good to be wanted. And then I will say Mercedes Moné. I'm just gonna throw one. That's a wild one, but that's the only one that will really fit the build as one of the biggest signs that everybody will. I think that no one will be like, no, that's not one of the biggest signings in TNA history. I think everybody would say, yeah, Mercedes Moné is that.
There's a really interesting conversation around Kazuchika Okada in that Kushida signed a TNA deal that is also with New Japan Pro Wrestling. All of his Japanese dates are through New Japan. His US dates go through TNA. They get first right and so on and so forth. There's a possibility that Okada is going to sign a US deal that is TNA while he still works New Japan. But I don't know what the change in presidency did for those negotiations. So it's anything's possible. Okada's kind of like my high, and then everything else is just like what I expect.
Sorry about that. I don't know why StreamYard hates me sometimes and pops me out, but I love that Joel just kept it rolling. Yeah, I don't know about Okada. I can't see how he would make that jump from how he's felt about TNA for so long and then doing that. And also the move of Hiroshi Tanahashi, I could see them kind of giving him like the biggest contract in New Japan Pro Wrestling history. And also, I think that the favorite, if he's going to sign with a North American promotion, is probably AEW because they can do the same thing as far as the dual contract with New Japan.
It really just comes down to dates and money, and everyone's on a different. Again, TNA, people sometimes forget that, like, yes, TNA does have first run weekly content, but like they're taping 2 nights a week, or sorry, 2 nights a month. 2 nights a month is where you're working. So you can do literally anything, come and plan a tour for 2 weeks based around when you're going to be in the United States or Canada. And then you can go back to wherever your home base is and work from there. We don't know what Okada, for example, wants to do when it comes to his wrestling. He could very much want a full-time schedule where he's on Dynamite weekly, or he could be doing something like a TNA where you work, a Saturday, Sunday, or a Friday, Saturday. And then the rest of the week, the rest of the time, you're stateside, you can do whatever you want.
That is true. That is the benefit and the upside for Okada. So he's kind of a wild card out there, and he's working the main event. So you could start the show with announcing him as the signing, and then he can make the drive to make it for the main event of Battle in the Valley.
Could you? They'll charter a helicopter for him. Give him the real. He'll be like, "Wow, this is very different from last time I was here." I want him to go full dickhead. That's what I want. I want him to just be a complete jerk. Come in and like rip up the Okato mask and just hate on TNA. Be a full on heel when he comes in. That's all I want.
Absolutely. Him beating Alex Shelley just seems right to win the
Oh,
TNA
yes.
Heavyweight Championship. Just come in first match and beat the world champion, and
Let's
it's your
go.
former mentor.
Yep. Let's go. Let's do it.
Let's talk about the countdown to Hard to Kill, as you're going to have TNA Originals teaming up. Eric Young and Frankie Kazarian going up against this kind of new tag team that has been forming at the end of 2023, at the end of Impact Wrestling run into TNA, of Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers. I call them DHP, Die Hard Professionals.
That's one way of saying it. Yes. I just call them there. Actually, I have a lot of respect for Edward Edwards and Brian Myers. We've had them both on.
You always rag on Edward Edwards.
I do. He's my guy, but I love his work. I really do. I think Edward Edwards. Someone asked me what my sleeper match of 2023 was, and I said Edwards and Ospreay had a banger of a match at not Final Resolution, the one before Turning Point. Thank you. They were both branded in red, so those two had a fantastic match, and like people largely didn't see it because they either said, "Oh, it's Edward Edwards," or there was a TNA or an Impact at the time, PLE. It was just a YouTube show, so they weren't paying attention to it. That being said, I think Eric Young and Frankie are going to win this match because they had already been tagging before the UK tours. They had talked about doing more of it, so I could easily just see that. Edward Edwards and Brian Myers, they're fine. They've tagged at Final Resolution. I don't know how long that's going to last. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird non-important tag team match.
Yeah, and Brian Myers has this whole tag team with Moose, the most professional wrestling gods. So he also has that. This is more kind of, I think, also playing off of the rivalry from 2023 with Frankie Kazarian and Edward Edwards. You're getting me to say it now.
Hey, it's on his Twitter too. He calls himself Edward Edwards. It's been another.
He's like, it's not just me, guys. This one, I'm very much surprised that that matchup, honestly, I wouldn't say that TNA would be wrong to put that on the main card, but this one, most of all, you got former Impact World Champions Rich Swann and Steve Macklin going one-on-one here on the countdown to Hard to Kill. Who you got here?
No comment. We don't talk about Steve Macklin. I'm not allowed to.
You scared? You scared? You scared to talk about Steve Macklin, our good friend Steve Macklin?
Listen. Apparently, whenever I talk about Steve Macklin, it becomes a problem because I don't talk about Steve Macklin long enough for Steve Macklin to care. I'll see you in Vegas, Stephen Macklin. I think he's going to win the match. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to bury the talent of Steve Macklin. I think he's a fantastic talent. I think Rich Swann is too. But I'd be lying to you if I didn't say that 2024 isn't a big opportunity year for Macklin as a potential TNA wrestling champion. So for that reason, Macklin should be getting this win. Rich Swann is fantastic in his own right, but this is not his night.
Yes, and I think is Rich Swann's contract up this year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that is true.
It's Rich Swann. He's fine.
It's and New Japan and TNA that always work like that. Like around the same time of year, they always have contracts running up. It's never big news until this year.
This could be it. Where does Rich Swann go from here?
I don't know. I think he would do well in New Japan if he worked in the junior heavyweight division over there.
Yeah, or he just wants to work in the Indies. Who knows? Maybe he. But he's been such a staple in Impact and TNA for the last few years that it just makes sense that he sticks around. But it's up to what his expectations are creatively and financially.
Hey, AEW, Ring of Honor, there's spots for him to go, as well as the independent scene where people are making bank, like Matt Cardona and folks. So yeah, You also got on the countdown to Hard to Kill a championship bout, digital media championship up for grabs. Tommy Dreamer defending against his arch rival Crazy Steve in a no disqualification match. This one actually has some build to it. These guys have been kind of going back and forth since Crazy Steve had the Feast or Fire case to get an opportunity at the digital media championship, going after and attacking Tommy Dreamer, stabbing him in the back with a fork. They had the matchup where Tommy Dreamer was disqualified, where it got very bloody in that one, and now we got a no DQ matchup. What do you think wins, Joe?
I heard this was supposed to be a combat match, and they made it a no disqualification match because both men wanted to wrap everything in barbed wire, and they just said, well, we can't be doing that. So instead, we're going to do no disqualification. Crazy Steve needs to win this. It's time. Tommy, I'm glad you kept your career alive at Impact 1000 and won this digital media championship, but let's put a little bit of respect on this TNA Digital Media Championship name. Let's give it to Crazy Steve. Let's see what Steve does on a singles run in this company.
I would love to see that. Yeah, it is about time. I do agree with you. I got Crazy Steve getting the win. If I didn't predict before, I got Steve Macklin getting the win as well against Rich Swann. We got also in the chat kind of Ace, kind of thinking what I was thinking. Yeah, I love the pairing of Rich Swann and Willie Mack. They're just a likable pair.
Yeah, let's do it. By the way,
they should have been Impact World Tag Team Champions. I'll stand by that.
Willie Mack should have been an Impact champion. But not important. Not important. I will say this: the Tommy Dreamer Crazy Steve thing. Yes, there's a story there, and my favorite part is that the week that they aired the Crazy Steve putting the fork in Tommy's back was the same week that Christian Cage on AEW told Adam Copeland to GFY, and I used that as the thumbnail, and I called it "Go Fork Yourself," and no one else laughed but me, and that's all that matters here.
As long as you can pop yourself, if you learned anything from Joel Pearl, that's what it's all about.
All you need is just to pop yourself.
Then we got the main card, Joel. As this is why I said I was kind of confused on those matches being on the pre-show, because I feel kind of bigger than this one, but this has somewhat of a story to it. As you have Dirty Dango with his new crew, Oleg. You say the last name better than me.
Prudius
and Alpha Bravo, and he's gonna go up against PCO, who recently re-signed with TNA Wrestling. I got PCO here. Who do you got?
So do I. Also, you wonder why this match is on the main show. You just said it. It's because PCO re-signed. He was the first re-signing in TNA. That's a moment. And also, like, nobody hates their body more than PCO. So he's going to have a big spot with Oleg Prudius, and it's going to be brutal, and it's going to be fun. Alpha Bravo will get the shit kicked out of him. Sorry for the dropping S-bombs, but this channel does that all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And Dango,
you watch AE Ramble.
I know what this does. I know what you do. That's why people need to send in super chats and get to money out the swear jar. Anyway, Dango's going to have fun with this, but PCO is going to win this whole thing.
Yeah, I think that we're gonna have fun with the whole act with Dirty Dango and stuff, but yeah, PCO is gonna definitely get the win. Maybe he'll do a big dive onto the whole pile. They need a name for their crew. They're like Team TNA over in AEW. They need a name, and this crew needs a name.
How about former disgruntled WWE talent?
Sounds about right.
And
2010 WWE Superstars All-Star Team.
It's the comedy characters turned serious who failed. That's why I love the Dango and Prudius character, because they turned Kozlov from like super serious boy to super comedy act, and then they turfed him. And then Fandango was brought in, super comedy serious whatever, turned him into whatever he became in WWE, and then turfed him. There is a connection there. They haven't made it so much yet in TNA, but it's there. It's definitely there.
I agree. We got Chilling with Chase, who says PCO. Everyone's pretty much saying PCO. CPC with a nice little dream match here. He says, my sick dream match is PCO versus Darby.
Oh, they would just... can't say the words I'm going to say.
That's the question in that matchup.
I think Darby, no, PCO. I've seen Darby always seems to survive. PCO just always needs reviving. So I think PCO is willing to go that extra step. He's a little more mileage under his belt.
Yeah, he's freaking bones out of his body sometimes, just for the hell of it. This one is a matchup. I always say a complete wrestling card. You gotta have some high flying. You gotta have your comedy like the PCO and Dirty Dango matchup, but you also gotta have big meaty men slapping meat. As Josh Alexander, the walking weapon, will go one-on-one with Alex Hammerstone, making his TNA debut. The former MLW heavyweight champion held that title for about 2 years. And you got Josh Alexander, the longest reigning Impact World Champion, a battle of world champions, iconic world champions in their own right of this generation. Who you got here?
This is a tough one because Josh Alexander should win on his way back up to the TNA Championship. However, if they've signed Alex Hammerstone, Hammerstone's going to pull out a victory and start a Josh Alexander can't win the big one story, and then they got to pull that back from 2021. If Hammerstone's signed, Hammerstone's winning. If Hammerstone's not signed, then it's Josh's match to win and then continue his ascent back to world title.
You got to pick one. What's your gut? What's your heart telling you?
I'm picking Josh Alexander until his wife, new ring announcer Jade Chung, decides to wallop him with a steel chair.
There you go. The big turn. The big turn.
The big turn on night one. Husband and wife feuding over nothing. No, I got Josh winning.
You very much kind of set the landscape for both arguments either way, and that's why I'm going to choose Alex Hammerstone to get the win, because I believe he has signed with TNA, and I think that's a big addition and someone that could be like a potential like monster heel or on TNA television.
Yeah. That's it. It would be good.
Hell yeah. He's like, I want to review that. We got in the chat here, kicking it with Leo, who says Dirty Dango to get the win in the opener. Got chilling with Chase talking about the Hammerstone and Alexander match, saying I love this match. I got Hammerstone with the upset. We got kicking it with Leo, who says I got the walking weapon, the weapon walking, Josh Alexander, but I feel like the match overall is going to be straight chaos. Indeed. Some big moves. We got over here next, big one, the second ever, Joel, Knockouts Ultimate X matchup to determine the #1 contender for the Knockouts World Championship. You got the winner of the first Knockouts Ultimate X matchup, Tasha Steelz, going up against Alicia Edwards, Giselle Shaw, Jody Threat, Zaya Brookside, and Danny Luna. Who you got here, and who do you think is kind of like dark horse that might not win, but people should be watching in this one?
I love this teaming. I love these 6 women working together because Giselle Shaw, Tasha Steelz, Lish Edwards, they are considered, I wouldn't call them OGs in the Knockouts division, but they are prominent long-term X division stars. Jody Threat, Danny Luna, Zaya Brookside. New to the Knockouts division. They've only been around for maybe a year in the case of Jody Threat. Zaya's brand new, never competed in TNA. Danny Luna's only been around since Slammiversary. So, and she just got signed to the company as well. So this is a new versus old, which is not really the way it should be, said, but it's going to be a tale of 6 knockouts who are split down the middle in terms of longevity. With who wins, I think it's Giselle Shaw's year to win it. I think Jody Threat is going to be fantastic. We just had her on In the Weeds this morning to talk about the match and more. Danny Luna is going to be someone to watch as well. I think Giselle wins, and I'm going to tell you why once we get to the Knockouts World Championship match.
There you go. I really want to pick Giselle Shaw because that is I got to interview her and learn about her career and how she came up on the UK indie scene and all the work she's done in Impact Wrestling going into TNA and kind of being on the cusp of the big win over and over again. Like you said, Jody Threat has been picking up a bunch of momentum. She had a long winning streak. Danny Luna just getting signed. That was kind of like, I was like, Danny Luna getting signed there. They made a big deal about that. I think I'm going to go with Danny Luna. I got the opportunity to speak to her as well, along with Subculture. And I think that she's someone that's on the rise, someone that TNA can kind of build around and kind of say is one of their homegrown stars in this new era. So kind of kick it off on that path. I say Danny Luna gets the win.
Watch Lish Edwards get the win, and we all just look stupid.
Oh my God. Don't do that. Shout out to
that character, though. That character she plays is fantastic. It would be obnoxious as hell, and everyone would love it. So
with the voice, with the Boston accent. As a New Yorker, I can't.
Yeah, that's what's perfect about it. The voice, the accent, it upsets everyone who should be upset by it.
I can't. Brooklyn Bleak saying Brookside Dark Horse, but Alicia or Shaw, if Alicia wins, her promos will be completely unbearable.
You get it? You get it?
That's exactly what Joel's going for here. Oh, we got next up another championship matchup here, this time for the X Division Championship, which that new title looked beautiful, but this matchup, oh boy, this matchup has banger written all over it, as you have Chris Sabin going up against Kushida and Elio Del Vikingo in a three-way X Division Championship bout. This is three of the best when it comes to light heavyweight, junior heavyweight, X Division action. Who you got here, Joe?
This one's tough, man. Not Vikingo, I'll put it like that. Sorry, he's not signed to the company. He's just not. Yeah. Also, if there's one thing that TNA does, sorry, the Impact would do this. TNA, we don't know. The jury's still out. There's one thing that Impact would do is that if Lucha is on the show, the Lucha was going to lose. The Lucha Libre star always loses. The Mexican stars never win, except for that one time when they did the Bound for Glory thing, and Juvi's team won because it's Juvi and Conan. So what do you expect? I wouldn't be surprised to see Chris Sabin retain. We had Kushida on In the Weeds earlier this week, and it sounds like he's very excited to be part of the division, but it also sounds like he's willing to do heavyweight as well, because there is a reason for him to try to do the heavyweight division again. I could see Sabin winning again.
Sabin made a big deal about this being his 10th reign, getting that big win at Impact 1000. He's had a pretty good reign, 2 different reigns in 2023. But Kushida signing, you got to give him the big win. Kushida's been on the verge of the big victory in TNA and Impact Wrestling for a while. He had that matchup with Steve Macklin at Rebellion for the Impact World Championship, just coming up short there. He had the matchup with Leo Rush for the X Division Championship, coming up short there. I don't think you can have him come up short this many times. So I'm going to say Kushida gets the win, setting up a rivalry between him and Chris Sabin over the X Division Championship moving forward.
I don't hate it. I'd like to see those two go off again.
Absolutely. This one I am expecting to be fantastic. You got the ABC defending the TNA World Tag Team Championship in a 4-way matchup against the former champions, the Rascals, Speedball Mike Bailey, and Trent Seven, who first teamed up at Final Resolution, Speedball Mountain. And now the debuting grizzled young vets, yes, James Drake and Zach Gibson debuting in TNA. This one is, man, so many great wrestlers in this one. I expect this to be awesome. Who do you think wins?
It's going to be a cluster of a match, and it's going to be in the best way possible. I think the Rascals are going to steal it. I think the Rascals are going to win the tag titles. I think that's the thing. I think they're going to try to tag the titles again, just like Trey would do with the X Division Championship. And when they try to do it, that's going to set up the next feud that they have, whether that's GYV, whether that's Bailey, Speedball Mountain, as it were. I don't know who it's going to be, but it will move Ace of Bays away from the tag division for a while. Let them do some singles work. I think that's where we're going. But I could see the Rascals sneaking away with those titles.
You know what? I do agree with you. Not about the Rascals. I do agree we're going to see a new champion in this matchup. But I'm going with the grizzled young vets. I think you have them come in, and TNA Impact Wrestling is known for this, guys. Teams just coming in for a cup of coffee, getting a TNA championship run. It goes back to the Hardys, who were not having contracts, getting a championship run. You had the Briscoes come in for a cup of coffee, get a championship run. Gallows and Anderson, not without contracts or contracts expiring, getting a championship run. They are known for this, and this is their way of kind of being like, hey, see? grass is green over here. The water's warm. It's all good over here. Championship run, your first matchup. Grizzled Young Vets get the win. And I feel like they are an important piece to freshen up this tag team division. I think Speedball Mountain can be that as well, but I see long term, I want to see Speedball back in the X division or maybe even in the heavyweight division. And I also think that you're right that ABC can explore the singles division as well. But I think that for now, GYV versus ABC, that might be a tag team feud of the year. So give me GYV for the win.
Everything you said is true. However, I'm hoping they buck the trend. That's all.
He's like, award the teams that are there that re-signed.
Listen, they did it with Deanna too. They gave her the Knockouts World Championship without a contract. That was a little different of a situation, but it still stands to your point.
We got our first super chat donation. Thank you so much, Will Chisholm. Always looking out. We appreciate you, good sir. He says it's going to be amazing at the end of the show when TNA say they work it with WWE. Like stupid fans thought for like 3 days. LOL.
Notice how when MLW said, "Oh, we're also moving to PLEs," no one said a damn thing.
Because they probably said something, and then somebody was like, yeah, they're not doing that because they just did a lawsuit where they just got a lot of WWE money.
That's then you know the smooth brain are just like, well, that's them sticking it to WWE while taking their word. No, I said this on Twitter a while ago. PLE is just the logical step in naming your pay-per-view because you're not paying per view, you're paying once and you can watch it in perpetuity. Triller does the same thing with the Fight TV, was whatever you want to call it. You buy the show, you get to watch it forever. That's just the way it is. So a premium live event, WWE did start the trend, but it makes perfect sense. It's a premium event that is live. It is not free. You pay once, you get access to it. That's your ticket. Stop calling it pay-per-view. The only AEW still runs traditional pay-per-view on cable. Some of these companies still run traditional pay-per-view, but they're mostly trying to get you to sign up to their streaming platforms or to Triller TV, whatever it is. TNA Plus, they're going to have those pay-per-views live if you pay an extra fee. So it makes sense. Just call them PLEs. They're premium, they're live, they're events.
Yeah, I think that AEW will probably transition to that if they get on a streaming service. They'll have to kind of call it that again.
They won't. Tony won't allow.
Out of spite.
Out of spite, he'll call it something else. He'll call it like pay once, view always. He'll call it
exclusive live event.
Probably exclusive live events. Our next AEW ELA.
We got Chilling with Jay saying Grizzled Young Vets might win this, but I hope for ABC. Excited for this matchup. And we got CPC who said, I assume Grizzled Young Vets win, but I'm not tired of ABC. Yes, ABC just started this reign back at Bound for Glory. So maybe it's a longer reign than even their last title run. And their last title run, I think they went about 4 months. So it wasn't really long. So you might want to establish the new titles with the champions holding on. So
this match has no reason to exist, but it's going to be great. That's just the reality. Again, that is this entire card. Most of these matches don't need to exist. They have no reason to exist. They should exist. So we'll see.
Hey, we got the double main event now to talk about, and I'm going to talk about this one first, as you have Alex Shelley defending the TNA World Championship against the Feast or Fire World Championship case holder, Moose, the former Impact World Champion. Moose won the Feast or Fire case kind of by accident, by the case kind of falling into his lap after Steve Macklin was speared, and got the TNA World Championship matchup. He's held on to it for 4 months, and now he's finally going to cash in here. Who do you think wins?
If this is the main event, if this is the last match that goes on, then the big signing is going to be whoever steps up to the world champion. So for that, I want to give Alex Shelley the retain. And if it is Ali, then I want to see Shelley and Ali. And that's the immediate, you go to that, but you don't do it at Sacrifice. Don't do it at No Surrender. Do it at your next big pay-per-view. But your next big pay-per-view is not until April. Yeah, Rebellion, which will probably be in Toronto, but we'll see. But anyway, point being, Ali is where I would probably have him land. Just comes down to who the big signing is. But I think Shelley's going to retain.
I agree with you. I think Ali Shelley retains it. Just doesn't seem like it's the right time for Moose to win the title back. I think that Moose will eventually get another run as the world champion, but I don't think the time is right now. We do got Frantic World in the chat who does have Moose getting the win. We got Steve Slam who says Moose transition champion for Okada. Okay. Okay. I mean, Okada loves working with Moose, so that's not far fetched. We do have another super chat donation. Thank you so much, Brooklyn Bleak, who says, "What are the odds of TNA having some wrestlers of yesteryear show up or do video package to say congrats? Monty Brown, Sonny Siaki, Pope, etc. Basically anybody who should have been a champ."
I mean, listen, sign Monty Brown yesterday. Put him in the Hall of Fame. Do whatever you want with him. I don't care. Just bring back Monty Brown and the whole world will erupt. Anyone who's been a TNA fan, they'll be all for it. Other than that, Ken Shamrock will come back and do something. Who knows? He's got a Legends deal with WWE, but that's never stopped them from working C1 Team 3D. So I don't know. I would love to see some of their old talent come back, some of their classic talent. They brought a couple back for Impact 1000. There's no reason why they wouldn't have a few back here and there, but it depends how much they want to lean into the nostalgia versus how much they want to move forward. Because again, a lot of these matches have both going for them.
Yeah, I think we could see maybe like America's Most Wanted, like we did at Impact 1000. I would love to see Sonny Don't Look at My Ass Yaki. We also got the Pope. I mean, we haven't seen the Pope really since like his NWA days, so wouldn't mind that as well. So yeah, I I I think the odds I would put it at. I don't know how odds work, but I was
As,
gonna say I was gonna
as,
say
long,
50-1.
as long as there's one TNA original that I hope to never see on TNA again, who is local to the Vegas area and works daytimes at a strip club. I don't want to see that guy ever. Okay. If I'm going to keep it 100, I don't want to see that guy.
I like how you did that. I like how you did
Yep.
that. Very nice. All right. Finally, the big main event, in my opinion, the match I'm looking forward to, probably as much as anything else on this card. You got Trinity defending the TNA Knockouts World Championship against the winner of the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, Jordynne Grace. The reason why I'm looking forward to this one is because there's a lot of anticipation in this matchup due to the reports from your outlet Fightful saying that Trinity is looking like she is finishing up with TNA and heading back to WWE. On the other hand, you have Jordynne Grace, who just re-signed with the company at the end of 2023. What do you think?
I think Trinity is going to retain that championship. Let me tell you why. While Trinity is not on the promotional materials for No Surrender at the end of February, she is front and center on the promotional materials for the Orlando Impact tapings. Remember when I said at the top of the show that this TNA show and Snake Eyes, they have nothing to do with the actual product of TNA. Whatever their long-term storylines are, they have Okada, Ospreay, Vikingo, the GYV, at least as far as we know right now, Alex Hammerstone. None of these people seem to have any connection to TNA or have any contract or anything like that. I think Trinity is going to win. I think Trinity is going to lose the title at the Impact tapings to the winner of the Knockouts Ultimate X. And that's why I think it's Giselle Shaw, because Giselle deserves that reward after years of hard work, getting herself to not only the top of the Knockouts division, but also proving that she is really, really good at this beyond just showing up and working. So Trinity, I think, will retain.
Wow, I did not expect that one. I would, and you almost convinced me. You almost convinced me. But I'm still gonna stick with my gut, with my head, and with my heart. I'm gonna go with Jordynne Grace. I am a big Jordynne Grace fan. I think that she has been working hard to get back to the Knockouts World Championship, even though I think we both agreed that when she called her shot, she should have probably called her shot for the World Championship. But We can wait on that. We can wait on that for now. They need her to be a stabling force for the Knockouts World Championship because of, Deonna Purrazzo leaving, because of Trinity possibly leaving. We need Jordynne Grace to be that stabling force. So I think that she gets the big win here and gets the victory 1 year since she lost the Knockouts World Championship last year against Mickie James.
Mickie James. That's another name I haven't heard in a while.
Another name that's not with us anymore in the Knockouts division. Eric Isaac saying Jordynne Grace wins and Trinity ends up with WWE back in the Rumble. Yeah, I suspect Trinity to be in the Royal Rumble. Do you?
Yeah, absolutely. But the Rumble is on the 27th, and she's going to be on those tapings in Orlando.
That's her swan song in her hometown.
Hey, SP3, where is the Royal Rumble this year on January 27th?
It's in Tampa.
It's in Tampa Bay, Florida. Do you know where the Impact tapings about a week before that on, I think it's January 15th, 16th? Do you know where those tapings are happening that I just said earlier?
Orlando.
Where is Trinity from?
Orlando,
Florida. Stop it. She's going to retain and she's going to lose them at because you got to pop a rating for TV. I know that people are going to be reading spoilers and that's fine, but you want to have a big match. You want to have a big moment. It's just like putting Dixie through the table. You won't want to miss this. Bully Ray is going to put Dixie through a table at the Hammerstone Ballroom.
I was there for that. I lived for that. I was there live. Yeah.
It's the same thing. Snake Eye show is just it's just there, and like they're gonna show everything and the matches are gonna be great, but like it's gonna have very little bearing on some of the other stuff going on. There will be some, but like it's gonna be just a celebration of really cool matches from the weekend. This is really, it's a super con and it's gonna be fun.
It is. It's a 2-night SuperCon. You got Will Ospreay and Josh Alexander on the Snake Eyes event. You got Kazuchika Okada teaming up with the Motor City Machine Guns. So it's gonna be a fun one. So I'm looking forward to TNA Impact getting back on our screens weekly, and I'm looking forward to TNA Hard to Kill. And always I'm looking forward to talking to Joel Pearl about professional wrestling because this guy knows his stuff, and you can see him over on Fightful Overbook Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But I'll let him do all that spiel. Joel, the spotlight is yours. Tell the people where they can follow you, sir.
Very easy to find. I am at Joel Pearl, JoelPearl, all over the internet. I do host In the Weeds with Jeremy Lambert on Fightful Overbooked, youtube.com/Fightful Overbooked, or just search it. Let's face it, you can do it anyway. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern until noon. We go live. We talk wrestling. We have interviews. Today we had M-Dog Matt Cross for almost an hour and TNA's Jody Threat. We've had tons of guests. SP3 is actually filling in for me on Friday. So surprise, surprise for anyone who didn't know, he'll be filling in for me while I'm out in Vegas for TNA Hard to Kill. There you go. Follow me there. And of course, True Heel Heat is always fantastic. So hang out with them. Okay.
Yeah, if Jeremy did not tell you, he literally told me live on True Hill Heat 258 that I am filling in for you on Friday. He didn't even ask me. He said SV3 will be filling in for, he will be doing Indo East for me next Friday. He didn't know that, but I'm telling him now.
Yep, that's how it works. Oh, by the way, I also host the TNA post show over on youtube.com/Fightful every Thursday night. We haven't done it since the beginning of November because there hasn't been any first room content. But this Thursday, we will do it live. We will preview Hard to Kill. So myself and Cresta Star, we will preview Hard to Kill, talk about that, and get you ready for the show.
Awesome. Go over and check that out. Support Joel. We got one last super chat donation from, of course, Will Chisholm. Thank you so much, buddy. He says, if she does an Uso splash, we know something's up. Absolutely.
I hope so.
Something's fishy. She does, and she says yeet or says no yeet. You
no
know
yeet.
Something. She says no yeet. You know something up, y'all. She gonna be like yeet. But yes, follow me on the Twitter machine at True Hill SP3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at True Hill Heat. Patreon.com/True Hill Heat. $3 a month, exclusive content. You also got the True Hill Heat Prediction Championship over there as well. And check out all the great content we got on the channel right now, like our best male wrestlers of 2023 top 10 lists. We also are going to have our best matches of 2023 voted on by our team. That's coming out later this week. And check out Rated Raw review number 5 with me and Romeo talking about this week's Monday Night Raw. And we are, yes, responsible for Tony Khan's actions, because as soon as that we did that whole debate about Hook and Jinder Mahal, Tony Khan tweeted out. So you welcome, world. You welcome.
I hate you.
That's Joel Pearl. It is me. It is me. Your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been our TNA Hard to Kill 2024 preview. We are signing off until